will.
We live.
Yo, live again. Y'all couldn't keep us down. The Black Phoenix Podcast rises again. What's good, TR?
Hey, I'm all good, and happy Juneteenth to the folks that celebrate it.
Look, man, let me tell you, I've been traveling across the state of Arizona, hitting all the Juneteenth events the last 2 weeks, man. This sun is kicking my ass. No other way to describe it.
Yeah,
115 degrees today.
Yeah, 115 is a bit much, but I am surprised the amount of the multiple Juneteenth events you can actually go in Arizona. I would have.
You know what's wild? So I live in a small, red leaning town that's heavily Mormon, and they actually the Juneteenth event here in my little town today was actually pretty lit. It was a nice mix. It was pretty dope.
Hey, if it works, it works. They got their they got the box checked.
Got the box checked.
So, all right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the show, and we got quite a few topics, a lot of things to discuss, even a little bit of Iran, but not the Iran you think we're gonna talk about. So there's that.
No doubt. Let's get it.
All right. So the first one is going to be a meltdown, which I don't know if you've ever seen a meltdown on the airplane. I've never seen one, but I can tell you this much though: for some of these people, I'm surprised they don't ever just end up on the no-fly list. Like for some of the things that have happened, and the one that happened during 2020, folks is wild now, but it's not like they they were banned from flying. That one chick that had she said that MFR can't see me. He's back there in the background. I forgot how that chick went, but she can still fly. So
I've seen one person get kicked off, but I don't necessarily want to call it a meltdown. I think she was trying to fly with COVID. She was obviously sick, making people uncomfortable.
She was sick?
Everybody complained and got her thrown off of there. Yeah, she was really sick. She was throwing up. She was out of it. She was wearing a mask, but she was very, very sick. And the flight attendants finally got her up out of there and told her she couldn't fly.
All right. Let's watch it.
Don't touch her.
No.
Don't touch her.
No, this is where her asshole is.
Do not touch her.
Look at her.
Shut
the fuck up. Don't fucking touch me.
Step back.
Why is people recording?
Let go.
No.
Let go. Let go of her hair.
You can't do that.
Let go. Let go of her hair.
I'm not.
Andre.
I'm not even touching your hair, bitch.
Andre, you need the police right now.
You need to let go
We
right
need
now.
those 911.
You need to let go.
911, bro.
You need to let go right now.
Just let go of her hair right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't
Just
want to
let
sit
go of
next
her
to
hair.
a fucking fat lady.
Let go
Let
of
go
her
of her
hair.
hair. Let go of her
hair
hair right
Let
now.
go of her hair.
You guys are already past
Let
the point
go
of no
of her hair.
return. You're already past the
Let
point
go
of no
of her
return.
hair.
Let
So
go of her hair, miss.
Y'all see me.
Let
You
go.
know what's going on.
Put her
It's just retarded. Yeah, put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. Alright. Look at this fat lady. Look at this fat ass bitch. She can't even look. You can't even see her stomach. It's horrible. Look at her outfit. Look at this
Jeez.
fat ass bitch. Hilarious. You can't even show your mouth because you're embarrassed. You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the fuck up.
Who is Alana?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, ugly ass fucking dude. Who's never gonna lay it again. Okay, I'm sorry, black guy. My boyfriend's black, so shut the fuck up. My boyfriend's fucking a black guy. My boyfriend's a black. My boyfriend's black. My boyfriend's a fucking black guy.
This is bad.
Oh, this chick is wild.
Yeah, she's spitting.
Shut the fuck up. 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 Yeah, put a shit down. Shut the fuck up.
You would think that'd be the worst of it.
Ugly ass bitch. You're so fucking.
You guys, I need
You
guys
never
to-
got laid in your life. You.
Okay, look how look how the Southwest agent is holding her head down.
Yeah.
there's something off about this whole thing. Well, we're gonna get into it, but this is really weird. I mean, is that normal protocol though? Because that sounds like, she could hurt. I mean, I'm not saying she's gonna hurt her, but she's just holding her head down.
Them needing 3 people to remove this small woman is nuts to me. Like, why did this take so long? Like,
Well,
she grabbed her hair. It looked like she swiped at her a couple times, and then she spit on her at least 3 or 4 times. First of all, if you spit on me, you might see some hands. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Everybody has lines. That's one of mine. If you spit on somebody, you want all the smoke that comes with that. I would like to see what started this, because you never know. When 2 white chicks is going at it, man, you
Hey,
just never, you just don't know, man.
I said the same thing too. Whenever women are involved, you got to see what led up to it though, because I'm not about to be like. First of all, she got a whole man right next to her. I'm not saying the man should have put hands on her, but I would have understood if he would have put hands on her, because she was talking. I don't think we got to the part yet, but because I saw this video earlier, but she's still running off out the mouth though. So I'm kind of curious, and it's weird that the men have to come and save the day. Like this Southwest person, she came in after she was already restrained. It's not like she was coming in there trying to like keep things under control. She did it after she was restrained. It's wild to me.
Yeah, and I would say that this lady is lucky, because I think last time I checked, less than 10% of flights have U.S. Marshals on them. This would have went down a whole lot differently if there was an air marshal on this flight.
Honestly, I don't know though, because you know how people be like, because the woman's on there, they'd be like, "Oh, let me give you a pillow, let me give you a what do you call it, a blankie, one of those foil blankies, and let me give you some warm milk." Like they always try to like put their heads down or try to be nice to them, but this woman, she was way out of pocket though. But again, the woman, the passenger, the one she called the big lady, the high calorie, she got a whole man with her. I don't know why her man didn't like, hey, look, turn the cameras off real quick, and I need to like tune this chick up.
So here's the question, TR, because we are the podcast of masculinity. Was this a failure on the boyfriend's part? We always talk about how men should react when another man is threatening your lady. But what is the take if there's a woman who's threatening your lady?
Look, hold on. I'll tell you this in a sec. Let me
Yeah, let's push through.
watch.
That's embarrassing. I'm so sorry about your boyfriend. That's horrible. That's horrible.
She's still talking head.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
Let me go. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Shut the fuck up. I can't breathe. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. No,
How are you recording?
fuck you. You're not letting me go.
That's probably the boyfriend that's recording.
You're corny as fuck. Nobody's letting me go. I can't get out.
Call your black boyfriend and tell him to save you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fat pig. Fuck you. You're so beautiful. You're stunning. Shut the fuck up. Can anybody do something, please? Get the fuck up. No.
Grab her legs.
Yeah, okay.
Look, right there. This is the second black guy that I've seen try to restrain this white chick. I'm just saying, why are y'all running to this? You know how bad this could turn into? And look, if you want to like be Captain Save or whatever, fine. Have at it though. But the men in general, look, that one was like, can somebody do something? Bitch, there's like a whole bunch of airline flight attendants. Why don't they do something? Why do the men have to step in and do something? Especially all these black men. She got a whole man right next to her sitting there watching everything unfold. But they want these random men to do something and step in. This is ridiculous, man. So to your question earlier, yeah, it's a failure on her husband, but it's also a failure on some of these men because they shouldn't have to step in for this. Is Southwest going to compensate them? What if she wants to do a lawsuit? Are they going to put up a legal defense for the failure of the Southwest agents from doing their job?
I get all of that. I really do. But most flight attendants are ladies, right? And this is where masculinity
men are sassy.
This is where masculinity becomes more important than ever.
Yeah.
Y'all can't clear up a situation like we can. And I'm thinking about it like this. Say you're on that flight and you're on your way to a funeral or a graduation or something of significance, right? This chick is messing it up for everybody. I don't understand why people get on these planes and do this. I don't know. I ain't gonna call her crazy, but something is definitely going on with her. I would love to see what led up to this mess. But I'm looking at it like this. Clearly, these flight attendants couldn't restrain her. The men probably, and you remember earlier on the subway train when we saw that situation with the guy who put the dude in the chokehold who was threatening to do something to everybody on the train. That was the man that intervened because nobody else would do it.
Well, it was multiple men jumping in there to help out. It was just Daniel Penny because he was white. He was the one that got caught up, but there were
right. But he was the one that did the chokehold ultimately after he was already restrained. But the point I'm trying to make is, if the people who are assigned to maintain the safety can't do it, then doesn't it by definition default to a committee of men who are there to maintain that safety? That's the question I'm throwing out there to the chat. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
Look, and just to answer the question, I understand what you're saying, but you don't know what this is going to lead up to, because for some of these men, let's say, so there's a beyond, this woman is actually like, she works for like Maybelline. Like they did the internet did the internet, and they found where she worked at. They found out who she's been. She's actually a high profile artist. It's like crazy to me. So the internet, so they did their whole thing about it. But what I'm saying is, this could turn into something else. Like, I don't think any of these men should be running into danger. You want the men to do something. Why didn't you say, hey, men, please save us, because us women cannot put this woman, cannot restrain this woman. Like, there were men there that were restraining her, but then she started kicking. What if this dude, homeboy right here, what if he got his teeth kicked in? He's right in the path of getting his teeth kicked in.
Oh, absolutely. Here's another. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna let you land.
No, I'm just saying, like, this could have been really, really bad. And for them, they're wanting someone to take control. We've seen multiple cases. You brought up the Daniel Penny situation, and there's one more that I'm missing. But we've seen men jump into action, and then they end up like either getting injured. They end up being called the villain. They might have said excessive force. Like, if she would have hurt herself, they would have charged these men. The police would have been like, well, I know you're trying to protect everybody or, restrain her, but she got hurt. She got injured. So we're going to have to take you in for questioning. Now you got to do paperwork, and you got to hope that they don't try to arrest you. And Southwest has been quiet about this. Well, I think they released a statement, but they're not comping these men.
So you talked about the impact to the people who could possibly help. And the first thing that popped in my head when you said that are Good Samaritan laws. I know, generally speaking, Good Samaritan laws apply to people that provide medical assistance, but I'm wondering, in an instance like this where she's clearly a threat, would they be protected under said Good Samaritan laws? Like, I'm really curious about that. That's number one. Number two, again, this is another example of a woman who is abusing the power that comes with being a woman. Because we know when they start to crash out, we're going to show them more grace than we would a man. And she fully took advantage of that. I think in the back of her mind, she knew nobody would put hands on her, do anything to her. I'm asking that, as soon as she started to spit, honestly, that woman should have slapped the taste out of her mouth. I would have paid her bail if she would have did that shit. Like,
well, that woman, she had a whole man right next to her, and he sat there and let other men do the work. So that's where, I mean, if anybody,
he beta-ized himself while he sat there and let her grab her hair. He lost all the points when that happened.
Yeah, and I guess she was talking. I know she was talking shit, and she was spitting. And like I said, I would tell everybody, "Hey, cut the cameras off for like a few seconds. I need to teach. I need to have some words with her." And then that would have been that, though. But everybody was too busy recording and then trying to ask, like, "Can somebody do something?" No, you do something, bitch. What the fuck? Like, I gotta put my life in danger because you ain't doing anything. Shit.
Man, I don't want no smoke on the plane. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get to the destination, man.
Yeah, you say that now until something goes viral. This is a long video.
I'm sorry.
I knew she was going to do this. Here's another thing that pisses me off. Women, y'all got to stop doing this shit. If you're going to be tough or masculine or combative, keep that same energy the whole time. You do not get to revert back to being a woman again when the cuffs get thrown on you or when somebody matches your energy right back. I see so many women who come off like this, and then as soon as somebody is down to return that energy right back to them, now they want to start crying and hit us with all these sob stories.
Amazing point though, because as soon as she started crying and she's trying to look for Mr. Negro right next to her trying to help her, she's like, oh yeah, now she's trying to calm down, she's trying to cry and everything after she's been combative. Almost, I mean, like I said, if she would have kicked this dude's teeth in, she probably would have got stomped out. I don't know, but everyone else is giving her multiple chances, but she know how to play that femininity card in order for herself to not get stomped out. I'm gonna go back to that because that's a bar right there.
No, my boyfriend's fine. You just shut the fuck out of the second.
She said that multiple times. Why does she keep saying that?
Fuck him!
See, MC, you jumping in there? You jumping in to help? You jumping
in to maintain the peace. You keep saying help. I don't want to help that lady. I want her arrested and in jail.
Man, I don't know about y'all, chat. I would have not even put my hands on anywhere near this. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Oh, that's right. Do you remember the who was it? The Asian guy that was on maybe it was Southwest. Remember the Asian guy that got tackled and he was like bleeding from his mouth and everything? Do you remember that situation?
I have bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember the context.
Yeah, they had to duct tape that guy and he sued the airlines.
I'm sick of these people wilding out on planes. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, same here.
Leave me the fuck alone. Look at how ugly I feel. No. You're so fucking fat. Leave me alone. You're fucking disgusting. Don't fucking touch me.
So why don't you jump over here? She can damage this stuff. But
y'all damage all.
I wonder how long that took for them to get her off that flight.
Look, get gurneyed out.
Oh, she going to the nut house for sure.
Thanks, women.
Stop abusing your womanhood, man. Just realize there's value in that. Cherish that, man. Stop abusing it.
Damn, that womanhood, that femininity card. She was like
leading on it heavy. Get out of here, lady.
Oh,
and if you have a black boyfriend like you claim you do, he a sucker for this. He should have checked your behavior. He should probably act like that at home. He just sit there and accept it.
Well, honestly, I mean, that's actually a good point though, because it's like if this is your chick and this is how she wilding out on here, that's making you look real bad. Absolutely. So whoever's her boyfriend, husband, or whoever it is, yeah, he's looking real suspect right about now. He better stay hidden.
She literally pulled the "I have a black boyfriend." Oh
yeah.
My god!
But yeah, this is a great consequence because this could have went really bad. What if she would have kicked that dude in his teeth? Are they Southwest going to pay the medical bills? No, they ain't paying no medical bills. They so stingy. They're not doing any of that.
What most airlines do, TR, they gonna settle with them out of court so they can just go away.
I don't think with those men that were helping out, I don't think they would have settled with those guys. They'll settle with that chick. They may settle with the passenger that she assaulted, but I don't think they're really doing anything for the people that intervened though. And it's wild to me because it's wild to me because a lot of times men end up like getting the wrath of it. Like if you want to join in and help out though, fine, do it. But buyer beware, you jump in and you might be held liable. So, you know, the days of jumping in and helping women and, you know, some of our older videos, MC has a funny, well, I thought it was a funny story of, you know, trying to help a woman out. And it didn't go that way. So that's how
I'll recap it real quick. The last time I tried to intervene in a DV situation, I saw a guy who was literally closed fist hitting on his lady. I tried to intervene and help her. They both turned around and jumped me. I would never forget that story, ever. Same.
All right, let's go to the next topic, which is, you know, going to be The View. We got 2 View topics coming up though, but this one is a hilarious one though. Actually, give me a sec, MC. I gotta turn my AC off.
Yeah. So while TR is handling the AC thing, I'm gonna say it again, ladies. There's power in you being a woman, but you can't abuse it because ain't nobody trying to deal with that. Especially y'all that like to put your hands on men and think that it's okay, or like to verbally abuse a man. No, it's not cool. Because sooner or later he gonna have enough of that, and he gonna return the energy right back to you. And it's your responsibility to avoid situations like that. If it's that bad where you gotta approach him like that, leave. Just leave.
Are you talking to women or the men?
I'm talking to the women that abuse
Man,
their
women
power with being a woman.
Women ain't listening.
They need to.
That's like 2% of our audience. They ain't
Or
listening.
buy a dog and die alone, like Kevin Samuels used to say.
Oh man. All right.
As the former governor of California, my home state, California's been in the headlines. Obviously, there have been these huge protests of President Trump's immigration policies. He threatened to potentially arrest Gavin Newsom if he didn't comply. If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff. That doesn't do good to anybody. And so that's number one. Number two, the most important thing is to create immigration reform. Because all of this is happening because we don't have immigration reform. For decades now, this country has needed immigration reform, which means that we recognize the fact there's people in the south of America that want to come north to work.
Yeah, Arnold cooking.
And that we therefore should supply them with enough visas so they can come because we need those workers. So this is the bottom line, because then we would know who is here. We will be able to get rid of the criminal elements that are here and all of this stuff, so we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in right now. So this is my way of saying always, Democrats and Republicans have to come together and solve this issue if they really want to be public servants.
Hey, real quick, just to talk about that real quick. This is the thing when I listen to Democrats, or I don't know if I think Arnold is a Democrat, but I know he doesn't like Trump. But whenever they want to have this conversation about immigration and people crossing the border, they never want to put Biden's name on it. Biden was the one that let all these illegals through the border, said, hey, come on in, we'll figure it out later. No due process, no paperwork. You would think with the party that was telling everybody to mask up and get vaxxed, they would be paying attention to the people coming into our country, where they are just essentially saying, hey, everyone, we're not going to check you for any diseases. We're not going to check you to see if you have any illnesses or sickness, or if you're sick for anything. They just let everyone through. And they never put Biden's name on it. Biden's name, the Biden administration is attached to this. They let in over, 15 million illegals or however many it is. And then Trump comes in and then he shuts the border down. Didn't have to change the law or anything. He just had to follow the law. So that's what bothers me, is when they have these conversations. Well, I'm not expecting The View to have it, but Arnold and all these other Democrats, they should definitely be, or these left-leanings, they should at least recognize, hey, Biden let these let these illegals in, and it's a mess that Biden created.
So I don't even know where to start with this. Let me start here. Neither party has a proper fix for immigration. Neither party.
Neither party?
Neither party. I got receipts. Trust me. I'm originally from Nebraska, right? There's a town in my home state called Fremont, Nebraska. I believe this was about 16 or 17 years ago. There was a meatpacking plant there. There was an ICE raid. They deported all of the illegals that were working there, and they are illegal. If you came into this country and it wasn't through an entry point and you didn't go through the process, you are here illegally. So the term illegal fits. They got them all out of here. They were paying them salaries under the table that were less than minimum wage. Now, do you know what happened to the price of bacon, sausage, and ham? Do you know what happened to those prices?
Probably
They damn near tripled, and people started complaining. So it's not feasible. And then the other side, you talked about all of that. Joe Biden actually delegated this to Kamala because he wasn't managing it properly, and he wanted to deal with other things. And their solution is open borders and let everybody in. I personally know people that work for Border Patrol, and they have personally told me that the number of people on the terrorist watch list who not only from the southern border, but from the northern border have gotten into this country and have been later arrested has increased by at least tenfold over the last 4 years. So there's not really a fix in place that works for everybody. I would go back, if I were you, I would go back and I would watch on Valuetainment, the PBD podcast. Type in New Woke Pendejos. There is a Mexican gentleman there. He has a very powerful take on this. It's an emotional take for him, but at the end of the day, his ultimate take was you cannot come into somebody else's house and dictate how they run things. You cannot burn the U.S. flag and throw bricks and rocks at law enforcement officers and tout your Mexican flag wanting to create change here. It doesn't work like that. You got to get in the system. You have to follow the laws, and that's how you. And then you get politically involved and push for change. So again, and I can play a video. I should have pulled it up, TR. It was basically a compilation video of a bunch of people from Mexico who were here saying, "Look, we don't even want to be here. We just want your money. We're taking your money. We're getting properties back home in Mexico, and when we're done doing what we're going to do, we're gone." So in my opinion, that's even worse because now you're profiting off, you're using U.S. resources, which could technically go to someone else, and building up your country with it. Like that's problematic for a lot of different reasons.
It's not making a good case for the people that do or that are coming over here that want to make a new life for themselves. And Arnold's going to definitely go into it a little bit. But yeah, those videos, I saw some of those. That's not helping their cases. So unfortunately for some of those folks, you know, I know they don't represent the entire group, but unfortunately they're representing you now. And unless you're calling that out, unless you're, you know, going to those people and saying like, hey, pull this video down and it's a bad look for us. It's going to continue being it's going to continue being rough for a lot of them. But I definitely agree that, you know, there's probably not an easy fix because right now, I don't think any of those, I mean, I don't think they need to create any more laws. They just need to continue following the laws. But here's the thing. What happens when if the next president isn't a Republican, this could happen again. So gotta look forward.
But here's the thing, though. Immigration was one of the, and this is how I knew the Dems were cooked. Immigration was one of the top 3 issues that U.S. people cared about. And that was an issue where the Dems were taking L's back to back.
Yeah, I agree.
If they want to be party servants and be party hacks and be tied to their ideology, then it won't happen.
Yeah.
But if you want to make this country better, and if you want to improve this country and improve the situation of people's lives and bring the prices down and all of this, you will go and serve the people of America. This is what it is. If you're a public servant, that's what you're supposed to do.
But you know,
so that's what I would do if I'm governor.
yes. But you were governor already.
I was.
Yes, you can't do it again.
I'm not governor anymore.
But,
I wonder
Laurie,
what
but,
his-
you know, as an immigrant yourself,
Hold on.
you are an immigrant.
I wonder what his policies were. I don't know enough about. I forgot he was governor, but I wonder what his policies were on immigration at the time.
At the end of the day, TR, he was the governor of California. California politics is an entirely different beast, man. You cannot be anything but socially liberal in California, even if you're a Republican.
You're right.
You're an immigrant in this country.
Yeah.
Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine they came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Yeah. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of
Preach.
opportunity.
It's funny
And
you
I
went to
think
Whoopi
because
on
I'm
that.
such a proud American and a proud immigrant that came to America, I was asked to do on July 4th a big speech, the keynote speech at Mount Vernon,
Oh.
where George Washington was
Yeah.
laid to rest, and where he lived and all that.
I don't know if I'm trying to get to a certain part.
It's 7,000 people. It's really a great America. I think the world legal. That is the important thing.
Right here.
That we got to do things with immigrants in America, and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of a history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to
That's a
do
red
things
herring,
legal.
TR. Pause
Those
it for a
people that
second.
are doing illegal things in
Yo,
The whole argument that immigrants contributed a lot to the United States is a red herring. The reason why it's a red herring is we already know that. Nobody disputes that. When people make a statement like that, they're trying to redirect the conversation away from what the real issue
yeah,
is.
reframe.
The real issue is a country should be able to control who comes in, period. It's not an open border. And some people think that this was your land at one point in time. Well, guess what? It's not now. It is what it is. Nobody is denying that immigrants contributed to the creation and the greatness of America. What's being denied is you can't come here on your own without following the protocols that have been established. And if you have a work visa and it expires, you can't stay here. You have to go through a process to become a citizen. You have to do it. Unavoidable.
Yeah, what's crazy is that there's plenty of immigrants that have gone through the process recently to become U.S. citizens, but for some reason they think these folks shouldn't be allowed. What Democrats are starting to push out for their talking points is that all these more Americans create. Well, I mean, I guess it's true just by the default, but more white. They say white men actually create more of the crime than illegals. I'm like, you guys are missing the point. Like, that's not even like the issue. You're letting illegals come into this country, and first of all, they've committed multiple crimes just by entering this country illegally. So I don't know where we got to the point in our timeline where you can sneak into a country and it not be illegal. Try to do that over in China. Let's see what happens. Go do it in Canada and watch what happens. Like a lot of these people, you know, they want to go to these other countries. They think they can just walk in and do whatever they want, which we had some people from America walk over or fly over to Gaza, and they found out the hard way that Gaza ain't playing with Americans just doing these protests. Like, they ain't messing around. So, you know, people want to act like America, this isn't the land of the free. And like, yes, it is. You just got to act right. You just got to abide by the laws. First of all, you got to learn English. I mean, I think it's crazy that we don't have that as the national language. That should be the national language. I don't understand why, you know, we believe, or, you know, back, like, I want to say back in when Hillary was running for office, she was like, you have to learn English. You have to pay back taxes because you were skirting the system. I don't have a problem with that. I know that Democrats don't sit on that nowadays. But it's funny how they were pushing that less than 10 years ago, and now they want to act like oh, we don't got nothing to do with that. We just want to let everybody in. It's really messed up, though. Yeah, you mute.
I'm not going to post this, but I'll just tell you, go on YouTube and search anti-immigrant protesters in Mexico and watch how those people in Mexico turned up when people from Central American countries were illegally immigrating to Mexico. See how much they turned up when that happened. Like, what's the difference? Somebody tell me what the difference is.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this one thing. We didn't get a chance to cover this, but during the whole protests with the No King's Day or whatever, which a lot of stuff happened on the No King's Day, but the one thing that I find fascinating is that the woke coalition is like crumbling. So first of all, you had all these people that were against Trump, okay? And Trump wins the office. wins the election, and now these people are like, well, we don't rock with you guys. You got Mexicans or Latinos getting upset with black people for not showing up for no King's Day, and you got black people saying like, you guys are illegal or you guys messed up the election anyways. You got whoish folks just quiet. Nobody's asking them to vote for anybody or show up or do anything. You know who I do see is a bunch of white liberals showing up with all their funny masks or funny signs and their weirdo masks and everything. Like, I think it's actually good that the woke coalition has crumbled, and we'll probably see a new party, a new Democratic Party come 2028. But the thing is that I don't think that party will ever win, because they are moving way closer to extremism and this whole progressivism nonsense. That ain't gonna win you votes. That is not going to win you votes with like the Obamas and the I'm trying to think of some other folks that rock with like Obama, but that's not going to win you votes with those guys. Not at all, not even close. Or the Chuck Schumer, there we go. That's not going to win you votes with any of those people. The Nancy Pelosi's, that's not going to win you votes with them. You're not going to win you're never going to win an election. So I don't want to say that JD has it in the bag though, because never say never. The Democrats have shown that they'll go above and beyond and do different things, suspicious things when it comes to election results. I'll keep it at that though, but just saying, like, we're going to see a new Democratic Party come 2020, and the Republicans, honestly, the Republican Party has to win, because if they don't win, the Democrats are going to undo everything Trump did, including letting illegals back into the United States.
See, I disagree, TR. I don't think we're going to see a new Democratic Party. They're still to this day showing that they don't get it. You're going to invest $20 million to speak with men. Meanwhile, what the Republicans did to steal the youth vote and the male vote away from you is they went to where the people were. They didn't drop $20 million to go meet in hotels and discuss strategy. You had people like Charlie Kirk. You had people like Officer Tatum. You had people like Kenneth Holmes that were going to college campuses and letting people that had smoke for their takes get on the mic and call out what their problems they had. And they would respond to those people and educate them and have conversations. While the Dems just sat back, they assumed they had everything in the bag. They paid a whole bunch of celebrities in their circle. They probably went to Diddy parties. And it didn't work.
Definitely. They went to
y'all got the masculinity up out of y'all party and then had the nerve to be offended that y'all didn't win the election.
Look, if AOC gets the nomination, that is remember we had this conversation. That is the change of the party. If they give the nomination to AOC or Jasmine Ratchet, that's the change in the party that I'm referring to. So, and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, they are holding on to dear life to their own spots. And I don't think, midterms are coming up though. I think a lot of those, establishment Democrats are going to lose their seats to the
AOC. So Trump won AOC's district. So I don't think she has a clue on the post. She's not reading the room right now. I don't know enough about Jasmine Crockett outside of her arguing with Margie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace. That's the extent of what I know about her so far. I'm trying to learn her a little bit more. But AOC, no way.
She's crazy.
There's no way they'll push her to the front of the ticket. No way.
Hey, but this is the thing. They have no masculinity. That's why they're going to get pushed to the front of the ticket. You got Bernie Sanders campaigning for AOC, and AOC stabbed him in her back, stabbed him in his back.
Well, they're pushing Hakeem Jeffries right now.
No, Hakeem Jeffries ain't gonna. I looked that up. Hakeem Jeffries is he's the House Speaker, or no, not House Speaker. He's the minority speaker.
The minority speaker, yeah.
Yeah. No minority speaker has ever went on to win the presidential spot. I think that's just a dead spot. Nobody ever goes on past that. So I don't think it's going to be Hakeem.
At this point, TR, I'm not even convinced that, and I've said this before, I like JD Vance. I've openly said that I like him, but I don't even think he's a guarantee to beat the person on the ticket. I don't think so. But
yeah,
we'll see.
There's a couple of people though, but yeah, it'll be interesting in 2028. Let me see if I think there's one more spot I need to find.
In America, and the foreigners come to them, and you have to them again for being a
there it is,
thing I
right
can.
there.
You're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can.
This is why it went viral.
Keep things clean, and to make my bed
Look at
and to
Sonny.
do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money
Fucking
whatsoever.
facts.
Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
Arnold, don't.
Hey, so
Hey.
I'm so glad he said
Hold
that.
on.
Let me tell you what.
Hey,
You go first,
Arnold
but
emptied
you go
the
first.
clip. Arnold emptied a clip, full Terminator mode. I made him the thumbnail, full Terminator mode. They just need to play that clip. They just need, when Donald Trump is doing, well, JD, when he's doing more ads, that's all he needs to do. Just play that clip. Hey, this is what you, if you want to be in this, you want to be in this country, you want to come over the right way, follow what Arnold just said, even though Arnold doesn't like the Republicans. But the point is, this is all common sense stuff. That's the funny part. There's no pick this side or this side, or this is all common sense. Just pay. He didn't say nothing about payback taxes, but he should have.
So, do you remember the sassy trucker, the one that went to Dubai and got detained?
Hell no, sassy trucker. What are you talking about?
There was a black woman who made a she was a viral sensation on social media.
Oh
She was a
yeah,
trucker. She made-
okay. She was called.
she went to Dubai and she got arrested because she tried to take some of that American energy to another country.
Oh
Dubai
yeah,
has
yeah.
very strict country, has very strict laws and rules. There's Americanized pieces of it, but ultimately at the end of the day, you can't raise your voice, you can't swear, physical contact. There's those types of things to be made. You can't even bring aspirin, like basic aspirin over there. Like their drug laws are way more strict than what's in the United States. And this ties to what Arnold Schwarzenegger said, because you cannot go on a visiting team's court with home team rules. They don't care what your rules are when you are in their house, you're under their rules. They don't care about your rules when you're at home. You're in my house. Abide by my rules. Anybody who I invite into my house has to respect my rules. I'm the head of this house. I set the tone, and it's the exact same thing with people that want to come to the States. There's laws you gotta follow. Period.
I
If you don't
agree.
want to follow them, then don't go.
Yeah, and you saw how Sonny and how the view was like glitching. They were like, "Whoa! we didn't talk about this in prep. We didn't say like, hey, this was all kosher. We thought
They
we were
wanted to
on the same
pander.
side."
They wanted to pander.
Yeah.
Arnold said, "I ain't got your pander."
Yeah, Arnold was like, "Hey, I did it the right way," and that's the best example. Arnold did it the right way. So for a lot of these people talking about you can't do it the right way, here's the thing. Okay, this is what I don't understand. Look, most of these folks knew that Trump was gonna start deporting people, and maybe they didn't believe him, maybe they didn't think he would do it as quickly. But the point is, they knew it was going to be a thing. And so I don't understand, in the last 4 years, why didn't you guys go through the process? Because we're not talking about people that were like trying to meet or trying to go, that were already in the process. Some of these people didn't even think about going through the process. They didn't even care to go through the process. And now you're paying all this money for an attorney. Now you might get deported if your asylum claim is denied. And you got all these Democrats crashing out, trying to act like, hey, we care about the illegals, but you don't care about your own constituents, your own voters, your own taxpayers. But it's a conversation for another day. So you got all these illegals doing all this wild stuff, and we've had so much crime from many of these illegals. And so it's never good when you see that a lot of these crimes or some of the things committed by illegals, where they're getting all these tax based services, food stamps and housing assistance, and then you got them committing crimes. So they're not going to win. You're not going to be able to win on something like this. And I want to say this is a losing argument for the Democrats, though. They don't change their tune by 2028, though. But again, like I said, you can never say never. The way the politics games is going.
Yeah, especially for the dreamers. I really feel for the dreamers. I really do.
Yeah. All right, we are going to shift away from politics We're gonna go to, let's see, whoops. We're gonna go to K Michelle. She had a interesting conversation about Black men. And MC, do you know? Can you give us a breakdown of who K Michelle is? I mean, look, I don't know who K Michelle is, but for some of our white brethren, they might not know who K Michelle is either, too. So,
she's described as, and I know some of her. She's a singer, and they call her a TV personality. I know her from the singing side of things, but apparently she's been on a couple of reality shows, and she's trying to get into the acting space. She's pretty well known, though.
hey, that's interesting. Okay, let's cue it up.
Well, being in Atlanta all this time and then going to Nashville,
Nashville,
where it's predominantly
What?
white. One, they go home at 5 and 6 o'clock when they're producing because they go home to
First of all,
Hold on. I know what you about to say.
you ain't know what I'm about to
I already
say.
know.
You ain't know what I'm about to say.
We on the Black Phoenix podcast. We are heterosexual men. We gonna get to the business, but
This
we are
ain't
heterosexual men.
This is not stock.
This
And I
is the
ain't mad at
reason.
her doing it.
TR, she has 8.3 million followers on IG.
Damn.
That is among many other things. That's a good reason why.
Yeah. I mean, he's some very good votes. Good followers there. So, all right.
their families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a bitch, a hoe in Nashville, because they'll never even listen to your music and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community do our men create real homes? And even talking, just our first time talking, and you said you didn't even mean for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful Black man
Hey, Maria.
that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know?
Mhm.
And my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, I got to tell my Black men to really step up for Black women.
Oh my God.
And create families.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking Black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful Black men, to be, you have to
Kill
set
the
an
smoker.
example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on Black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. So there probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to Black women. What is going on with the Black family?
Oh my God. All right. MC, is that good enough? Is that the clip?
Yeah.
All right.
You,
All right.
you
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
let
and lead it off.
Hey. Okay. For men out here. Okay. I'm gonna give you all some game here. Okay. All right. Hey, actually, is my Wi-Fi good? Are we good?
Yeah, you good.
All right. Good. All
I
right.
was just giving you a heads up.
Yeah. All right. So men, women, and looks like we have one woman in the chat. Men, I'm gonna give you some game. When a woman starts crying, don't believe it. All right. This is something that I learned the hard way. Oh damn, we lost some followers. We lost some views off of that.
Oh well, it happens.
But anyways, I can't even. There's so many things. So many misinformation. First of all, she's going to Cam trying to have this conversation. Cam is not the right person to have this conversation. Homie got like 4 baby mamas, 20 kids. He got a lot. I'm exaggerating, but he has a lot. All right. So you can't be going on Cam Newton trying to talk about the black issue and everything. And then her conversation about in country music this, country music that, blah, blah, blah. Country music stars ain't getting divorced. They ain't running through, they're not having situations with women. Like, MC, do you know who Jimmy Allen is?
Nope. Put me on. School me.
All right. So Jimmy Allen, he's country singer. He's a black country singer, and I don't listen because he's a black country singer. I just recently got in the country a couple years ago. And so he has some really good songs. Give me your best shot, blah, blah, blah. All right. So Jimmy Allen got into a situation where he may have been cheating on his wife, but his manager filed Me Too'd him, saying that, he assaulted me, blah, blah, blah. Dude lost his whole career. And I was just looking this up, though, because it's funny that we're talking about K. Michelle. The manager that brought the charges up and everything, she dropped the charges last year. So Jimmy Allen lost his career, may have lost his family, because I believe his wife was pregnant during when this whole thing broke out. And so this was a couple years ago when it happened. No one talks about it anymore. No one cares about Jimmy Allen. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. And Jimmy Allen does all these love songs. So there's quite a few country artists that will make a lot of love songs. I'm not saying they don't believe it. I'm not saying they live by it, though, but they catch and wreck too. So even though they sing about, loving their wife and, loving their dog or whatever. And I'm being facetious there. But the point is they catch and wreck too. And so she can talk about the music, what's going on with rap music. And I'm not saying rap music doesn't need to be cleaned up, though. But what's stopping y'all from cleaning it up now? You letting Glorilla say anything she wants, or Sexy Red. You letting them say everything they want. So why are you trying to go to the men and tell them to clean it up? When right now, honestly, you can make an argument that the women are leading the rap game right now. It's not like, yeah, K-Dot is up there, and
that's
Drizzy.
Not even disputable, TR. That's a fact.
Yeah, they're leading the rap game right now, though. So again, you got a couple of men that are, but that are still in the top, 10 or top 20. But at the end of the day, it's mainly women leading the rap game. So I don't care what she wants to say. She wants to put it all on men. Again, whenever you want to put a problem on somebody, just blame a man. Just say, men, you ain't doing this, you're not doing enough. And why should someone like Cam Newton try to fix this type of problem? First of all, Cam's contributing to the problem, but he's a millionaire, though, so he can buy his way out of it. But why is that on Cam to do stuff like that? People don't listen to Cam like that.
Hey, TR, I'm going to charge you to hold me accountable to not get too long-winded, because, this is a very passionate subject for me.
Yeah, sure.
So let's start with a couple of names. Reverend Calvin Butts, C. Dolores Tucker. Do you know they called all of this out way in the early 90s when gangster rap was starting to take off? And what was our response? Now, let's evolve it along a little bit further. Bill Cosby. Felicia Rashad, most recently. These are all people that have told black men and black women to do better for each other, conduct yourself better, treat each other better. This music is creating a problem for us. And you know how we responded to all of this? We turned our backs on them.
Old heads, yep.
We turned our backs on them. That's number one. Number two, women control access to sex and intimacy. Men control access to marriage. TR, of all the black men who are married, 88% of them are married to black women. Yeah. 88%. So it's funny, we didn't play that whole clip, but right before she started talking about the black men, she was praising the white men and how she loves when they come and talk to her, how they want to holler at her, and all this stuff, right?
Is she married?
I don't know. I don't know.
Real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead and look that up. And here's another thing I want to bring up. By race, black people have the highest rates of divorce, right? But we also know that anywhere from 70 to 80% of the time, who files for divorce?
Yeah, it's gonna be the woman. Yeah.
So they are actively creating the problem that K. Michelle is talking about. Now, I will argue with any woman to the end of time, you don't know how to choose a man. You need help. You need a real man that's in your life who can help you with that process. Now, if you ain't got a good relationship with your daddy, go find one somewhere else because you can't do it by yourself. And now that's the other thing. Now, I was going to play this video, but I opted not to. But there's a video that went viral on Facebook, and it was a guy doing interviews with. We're going to keep this on black men since that's what K. Michelle called out.
No, yeah. See,
No. I'm going to bring all the other groups of men back at the end. I promise you.
All men need to hear this though, but
They do because, and I'm going to get to that. Just let me land.
Oh,
So-
well, hold on. So real quick, this is who she's with right now. So she's not even with a white guy. This guy is a dentist, I believe.
Yeah. So the other part of this, women who make statements like this typically are not they're checking for basketball players, rappers, and actors. That's what they see in those spaces.
Yeah,
they are completely ignoring the average everyday guy who gets his bread the slow way, and they're focusing on people who get their money the fast way. So you can't take women seriously who talk like this, because if you are an average everyday 9-to-5 man who's getting it, she's not talking to you, and more than likely she don't even care about you. So you cannot take this seriously. You cannot take it seriously.
Well, MC, she's actually the guy that I just showed. He's actually a dentist. I was actually surprised by that. Even though your message is still correct, though, but it's weird that she's with the dentist, though. But she knows that most women are not going for a dentist. I don't think I know enough.
Granted, TR, look into who all her exes were before that dentist.
Oh yeah,
you want to see a whole bunch of rap bitches.
I don't even have to even look. I already know what it looks like. So you're right. He's the cleanup guy.
One more point we missed, and I'll give it back to you. Presentation is everything, right?
Yeah.
You got the girls out for everybody to see. If your guy is comfortable with that, that's on him. That ain't how I do shit in my house, but your shit is on full display.
In front of Cam Newton, ooh, he might look
like what are we doing here? The problem with a lot of y'all is you want to be a wife, but you want to be single at the same time. You want to conduct yourself like a single woman while being married. You want to wear whatever you want to wear. You want to do whatever you want to do, but that is not marriage. Marriage requires that you give something up and that you compromise, and y'all are not doing that.
Hey, MC, but she's an entertainer though. You gotta give her some leeway there, right?
Look, I personally would never marry anybody who wants to chase clout in any capacity, because it's a formula for failure. If she wants to chase clout and she's seeking attention, and we talked about me earlier, money, energy, attention, time. If she's seeking that from external sources, that's a recipe for failure. She's addicted to likes. She's addicted to attention.
Yeah.
Which means she's insatiable. You can never satisfy that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I feel, yeah, that's a good point you brought up with the guy that she's with now, though. So she's been with all the rappers, all the dope boys. She's been with all the guys that were like, I mean, and I bet you money, none of them were white. I mean, somebody will correct me, but I don't think they were even white though, but she's talking about white men. So this is the gaslighting that no matter which race the woman is, they all gaslight. They all have this conversation like, hey, I wish men would do things a little bit different. Men have been doing things differently, or they've been trying to figure things out. The problem is men are the last to know that no matter what they do, no matter what they try to do, it's not going to change anything. This is like, it could have been K. Michelle, but it can also be that it could be another country singer or that's white. It doesn't matter which way they're going. They're always going to blame men for this type of conversation. And so for men out there that are listening, that are watching, you have to like start living for yourself. You have to start thinking that, you know, these women, what she's saying, you can have a conversation, you can listen to it, but at the end of the day, they're not doing anything. And if anything, they're contributing to the problems that she's referring to. So you can be that guy and try to fix the problem. You can be the guy that tries to be the, you know, the stepdaddy, the cleanup guy, whatever it is. You're going to catch wreck. So men have to start realizing that it's not on you to fix the community. It's on you to like make sure you don't become a problem in the community. And sometimes that's even difficult. Make sure you're having kids with the right person though. But at the end of the day, K. Michelle's out of order. She should not be, trying to go on Cam Newton's platform and talk about this nonsense. Like it doesn't matter. She's going viral for throwing black men under the bus. and then highlighting white men. And I know on the surface it might look like this is a good thing for white men, but again, white men are catching more wreck than black men. That's against white women. So
Yeah.
is there gonna be a white woman out there saying like, hey, black men, you tell me the white woman that has come out there and said, hey, white men, you need to start acting like black men. Like no other, I mean, I'm surprised.
Especially what she said.
Yeah.
Wildly disrespectful. And like you said earlier, TR, if you are not black, I need you to understand something. This is going to affect your community at some point because this is no longer a black problem. This is a Western problem.
Well, this is spillover.
Western.
Yeah, it's Western, but it's spillover. It started with feminism, and then it rolled into it started with white women, then it's going into black women, and I guess Asian women. I mean, I guess they're trying to hold the line, but yeah, it's definitely a Western problem. You're right 100% on that.
Yep. So y'all hands ain't clean in this either. Y'all gonna get all this smoke that we get into at some point. It might be a longer process, but it's going to come to your doorstep too. So you may as well prepare for it.
Yeah, if anything, it's already at a lot of these men's doorsteps. So I hope that men can kind of look at this conversation and just say like, look, K. Michelle doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, and she's talking to Cam Newton again. Cam Newton got like 3-4 baby mamas and multiple kids. I'm not saying he's a shit dude. I'm not saying nothing good can come from having that conversation with Cam though. But at the end of the day, Cam is just the wrong platform to have that conversation. And K. Michelle only has like one kid. She's not even married to her kid's father. So what? It's the dad's fault that he's not there. I mean, we don't even have that. We can't even have the normal conversation of parental alienation or how women will turn the kid from their father. That's a whole nother conversation in itself, though. And men still haven't realized that's problematic in the community. Well, for fathers, and we just had the Father's Days panel, but yeah, men just haven't realized that this is a problem for all men, whether it's today or it could be, when you become a father 10 years from now.
Cam has 8 by 3, by the way, 8 kids, 3 women.
Shit, man.
So again, man, I want to call this out. I think K. Michelle thought she had good intentions with that take, but I need you to understand again, and I really want to repeat this again so y'all understand. Women who talk like this are checking for athletes, rappers, and actors. They're not checking for you, and that's why you should never take them seriously when they make comments like this.
Facts. So, all right, we are going to jump to something a little bit more. Well, I won't say it's upbeat, but MC, have you been following some of the WNBA?
We follow the WNBA more than most people do at ESPN. If you're keeping it 100,
man, I think I might watch one of the games because it is starting to heat up because the WNBA is. I mean, it's been on the radar for at least the last 2 years, and they're on the radar again. And who always in the center of this is always going to be Caitlin Clark. She does numbers, whether it's shooting lights out or the players just attacking her. But this is this is one of those things that went viral over the weekend. Whoops! I got it muted. Hold on. Unmute. Oh man. Watch it again. Wow. MC, any thoughts on it? I got a second video queued up though, but initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are it's a hard foul, and one of her teammates, if not her, should have handled it. This is why you have enforcers on your team. It was a hard foul. It was an unnecessary foul. It was a flagrant foul. I believe that's how they call it.
Do you think I'm not saying this, chat, so don't come for me. But do you think Caitlin flopped a little bit on that? Because I heard a person talk about Caitlin flopping like she's LeBron. Do you think she flopped on that? I can replay the video if you want me to.
Dude, the number of people who flop in professional basketball is astounding to me. I would argue that some people have mastered flopping, and I think that as a form of protection, because there are people in the league that are gunning for her, she might have flopped a little bit. She might have sold it.
Yeah.
She thought she probably sold it.
She definitely sold it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, so I don't know the player that came over there, but Caitlyn did get hit in the eye. It appears that she got hit in the eye. And then I don't know why the chick that hit her in the eye was walking up on her though. Like I think most people are going to have that reaction. I think that's a legit reaction that I think most players would have, because you just hit me in my eye and then you walking up on me. No, that's a pushback. Now the other chick that comes in and pushes Caitlyn, or I don't know, it's hard to tell if she was like a hard push or not, because Caitlyn did go flying. And I thought, I mean, I know Caitlyn's been putting on some mass, but it's weird that she went flying that far though. But that chick is way bigger than her though, so that makes sense to me. But yeah, it's crazy that you know, that they went in and did that to Caitlin Clark. Like, bitch, she know who she is. She's making sure y'all get way more money, and she just came back from a hamstring injury. Like, some of these people, the WNBA, they are like they're just beyond cooked though, because for a league that just doesn't get it and they will never get it, they've had enough time to understand, like, okay, we had a full season. We was making that bread with Caitlyn. Let's keep the gravy train going. I'm not saying you got to play, you know, off of her, give her the Jordan rules, but it better be damn near close, because you're breaking door records when Caitlyn walks up in your building. You're not doing that with anybody else. Not Angel Reese, not Asia Wilson, not Sabrina Spizniski, whatever her last name is. You're not doing that with nobody else. You're only doing that. Not even Paige Buchers is doing that. You're only doing that with Caitlin Clark. That is the golden goose. So, but here's my second video if you got one more thing to chime in.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna jump in after the second vid.
All right. And this is, whoops, actually, my bad. I queued up the wrong video. Tom. Okay, there we go. I just found out that Sophie actually, there was a video that went viral where there was a woman kicking. I didn't realize it was Sophie Cunningham. That's wild to me.
Yeah, she's like a black belt in like 2 different martial arts.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, right? So Michael Jordan was the golden goose for the NBA at one point, right? Do you remember what he had to go through to take down? I'm a Pistons fan, so I remember this quite well. The Jordan rules. Do you remember that? The Jordan rules?
MC, real quick, I don't think our audience know who Sophie Cunningham is, so I'm gonna pull up her IG real quick.
Yeah, I bet you do want to pull up her IG.
Look, all I'm saying is I want the audience to know who Sophie Cunningham is. If we're going to put some respect on the WNBA, we got to start putting some respect on it. There's nothing wrong with looking at Sophie Cunningham. Also, her jersey just sold out too.
Like I said, this is the most feminine the WNBA has ever been, and they don't know how to handle it. You got all these women who are, for lack of a better term, not butch. So it's attracting the attention of men, so viewership is bound to go up.
Also, chat, where you at on this? I know our numbers keep going up and down, but come on, chat, I'm giving y'all some eye candy over here.
Yeah, this is where I realize me and you have different definitions. Like, I think we can both agree that she's attractive, but
wait, what?
We both agree that there's attraction here, but I need a little bit more meat on them bones.
Oh man, this guy.
I'm not saying be obese or overweight, but that's a good one right there. That's a good one right there.
That's probably
that's the one right there. We both agree that she's an attractive lady, though.
This guy MC.
Give me about 5 more pounds and I'm good. But anyway, Jordan rules. The Jordan rules, the Pistons put the rules in. Every time he touches the ball, put him on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So that happened. Jordan went through his process. That summer when the Pistons knocked him out of the playoffs, he came back 20 pounds extra muscle. He adjusted. He got stronger. He got better. So Caitlin, you on the clock. You need to do the same thing. They keep talking about they want to be paid like NBA players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to go through the same hurts and pains as everybody else. The league is going to eventually clean up some of these flagrant fouls and these calls. But Caitlin, hit the gym, girl. Bulk up a little bit. You're going to be taking these hits because they got it for you. They know that you the one.
Yeah, I think Caitlin has been hitting the gym, actually. I've seen a picture of her where she looks like she's been, hitting the weights, but it's hard to beat again. I mean, Sophie, I think Sophie built for this life, though, but I think Caitlin is just trying to catch up to this because Caitlyn, I think Caitlyn's still trying to be the good guy in a lot of
She
this
is.
because Caitlyn doesn't realize, or maybe she does realize, but maybe she just can't say it publicly though. A lot of these players are just going to keep coming for her. They're going to keep hitting her. So I'm glad to see Sophie, because the reason that when Caitlyn had that first hit, which is crazy though, because the person that pushed her, she didn't even get a flagrant. It was a common foul, and then they upgraded it to a flagrant foul like a couple of days later. And I think that's probably because of the backlash and everything, of course. But in some cases, they have rescinded flagrant fouls because I don't think the WNBA knows how to give, or they don't know how to do proper reffing, and they don't know how to do their, what's a flagrant foul, what's a common foul. It's crazy that Caitlyn gets knocked to the ground. And even though, like I said, if you want to say Caitlyn should get a flagrant for pushing the chick, fine, whatever. I mean, I think that was a reaction that most people are going to have. But when that chick came in, that chick should have been ejected. There's no reason. Actually, that should have been the first brawl. And then you could have a second brawl too. So it's crazy that that chick was able to walk, but Sophie showed up. Sophie remembered, because Sophie wasn't on the court when it went down. Sophie was trying to get on the court when it went down. And Sophie was like, and the crazy thing is they were getting blown out. So I'm not saying Sophie had to rough her up though, but Sophie sent a message. So we team Sophie. I mean, I don't want to say that because that's going to look a little different. But I might actually watch a Fever game though. I mean, I've been watching. I mean, I know who Sophie was a while ago though, but now that Sophie's definitely back on the radar though, I might actually tune in and watch a Fever game.
Yeah, and I have to call out. And I get there's elements of race in this, right? There's elements of race in
No, it's all white people. What are you talking about?
No,
There's
no, there's elements of race here. I'm telling you, there's elements of race here. But what I'm here to tell you is nobody can deny that Caitlin Clark is talented. If you say she can't hoop, you don't know basketball and you're not paying attention.
Oh yeah, they just.
There's literally some people they're trying to push this Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark thing. And they're doing it strictly based on race. If you want to do it, if you want to make it a basketball rivalry, cool. But I think right now the elements of race, because a lot of Caitlin Clark's fans don't know basketball too. I just got into an argument with somebody at work earlier this week who claimed to be a Caitlin Clark fan, was caping very hard for, and I just asked one simple question. I said, "Where's she play basketball in college?" This lady got mad at me and blocked me. Like, these are the type. Some of these Clark fans are coming with that type of energy. Some appreciate her skills. Some are there because representation matters, and it does. It really does. If you see somebody that looks like you want to see them do well. That's just statistically proven. All I'm saying is, regardless of where you stand on Caitlin Clark, what you can't deny is she's making you money, and she's making people talk about your sport. You cannot deny that. So if you do get more money next year, like they say that they're going to push for, a lot of that, you got to thank Caitlin Clark. She brought in all these fans.
Well, they got the TV contract coming in though, so that's definitely they're guaranteed the money. It'll be interesting when the what do you call it, the players agreement? What is it called?
The collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, the CBA. Once the CBA comes up, that'll be interesting though, because there have been talks that they actually might sit out a season. I'm like, or they might hold out. I'm like, are y'all stupid?
Hey, pull up that comment real quick, TR. Let's talk about that one.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Every Fever game I've watched this year, the refs are so one-sided, it's sickening. I can't totally disagree with that, but how was that any different from the NBA? You've seen LeBron get some BS calls, right?
Well, I'll say this. So, and thanks for the comment. I don't want to butcher your name, but I'll say this much though. When it comes to
overzealous, it's pronounced overzealous.
When it comes to the reffing Caitlin Clark, they're letting Caitlin Clark getting bashed around. Most of the time when Caitlin Clark's been put to the floor, that was just a common foul. So we've seen that one with Angel Reese and everything. Like, these are just common fouls. So honestly though, you know what I think it is? Somebody brought this up too. I saw, maybe it was Jason Whitlock, but there might be a conversation about, do we have like another NBA scandal of refs fixing games? Who was that dude in the NBA that fixed the game?
That was I think his name was Tim Donaghy.
Yeah, Donaghy. We might have that conversation though, or people don't want to have that conversation yet though, because it's weird that if you need Caitlin Clark to score over under points or something, I mean, the best way to do it is rough Caitlin Clark up, and if the refs aren't calling anything, that's how you fix Vegas. But I know people are going to feel some type of way that it probably couldn't be the case though. But we can't, just because they're women doesn't mean we can't just put that out there though. Like women do diabolical things. Women will go to the clinic multiple times and say they love kids. Like I don't want to hear anything that women don't do. I mean, women are capable of doing some of the craziest thing. I know that was a bit of a stretch though, but I had to prove my point there that women
more times than the plate at Thanksgiving.
Right.
Hey, overzealous, I got a question for you because I don't totally disagree with you. But my question for you is, how does that differ than Tom Brady or Peyton Manning getting protections? I mean, we got the Tuck rule. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady always was in the official's ear, like Brett. And we could argue that there was some favoritism there. These leagues protect their superstars. There are politics involved in professional sports. Would you agree with that? Would y'all in the chat agree with that? Let us know.
Well, he's saying one-sided. I hope I'm not speaking for him though, but I thought they're one-sided against Caitlin. So maybe that's what he's referring to.
Oh, that's a good point. Are you saying one-sided for Caitlin or one-sided against? Because that changes the argument.
Yeah, because Caitlin's not getting those calls like people think they are. So I mean, again, he's been watching the games. I have not been watching the games. I've just been seeing the clips though, and listening to commentary from other folks though. But if Caitlin is, I see Caitlin on the ground a lot, and they say that person did not get a flagrant foul or even get ejected. I don't think anybody's been ejected related to a hard foul on Caitlin Clark, and she has been getting a lot of hard fouls though. And so you would think with the WNBA and especially the commissioner, they would be like, I'm not saying they gotta just go easy on Caitlin Clark, but I mean, come on, if somebody knocks her down, that's got to be a conversation about going against CC. Overzealous.
So overzealous to say that they're being tough on CC. They're not giving her those calls.
Yeah, exactly. See, yeah.
So I'm 50-50 on that. Not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. You might be right.
Hey, he's been watching the games though, so yeah. I gotta start watching some of the games though, because they've been. The highlights have been really good though. But again, it's going to be a fever game if anything, if I do watch. So, but yeah, just Sophie Cunningham, and I think Sophie. Remind me, is she the one that in that lawsuit?
With the Mercury, yeah, that's her.
Yeah, that actually went away too. So, but I mean, I shouldn't have brought that up though. But
all I gotta say is that if I get it. if she throwing it at you, I get it. I completely understand.
That is true too. But yeah, hey, we'll. If you guys like this, we'll probably do some more WNBA content. So, all right, we got one more topic on here, and it's a political one, and it is dealing with Whoopi Goldberg just making the ass out of herself again. She is a what do you call it? Just a gaffe machine. Well, she's not worse than what's her face? Sunny. Sunny is terrible. So
yeah, Sunny seems to be. Joy's pretty. They're all pretty bad in one way or another.
Yeah, for real.
The United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Well, they were like around
listen,
the
I
street.
can't have.
Hold on, one more. Looks like one just came in. Yeah. I've actually seen
we
that
definitely
too.
know the league hates her. The league is definitely jealous of her. The other players in the league, there's a lot of jealousy. Anybody who denies that is not being logical at all.
You know what's crazy though is she gets compared to Steph Curry, and what does Steph Curry have problems with his ankles? Not because people are trying to take him out though, but you would think people would make that same realization or a correlation when it comes to, or connection, I should say, when it comes to like them just trying to roll her ankle as well too, or slide under her feet. Like they are definitely do that. That's why she has to pull up from half court, pull up from the logo.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, I'd much rather talk about A'ja Wilson. I still think she's the best player in the league, but CC is the money. She's the cash cow.
Okay, but this is the thing. So real quick before we go back to this, you're right. A'ja Wilson has all the numbers, blah blah blah. A'ja Wilson just don't move the needle like that. And you can say that's part of the league's problem. You can say that's part of the maybe A'ja Wilson's brand or whoever her brand team is. I don't know who it is, but it's because of it's someone in Asia Wilson's circle. It's not because the league doesn't like Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson just had her own shoe line drop. Now, I don't know how well those shoes did. I was actually trying to cop a pair. There's a pink pair of Asia Wilson shoes for my daughter because she, they're my daughter's kind of tall though, so she has to get like kind of bigger shoes. But when it comes to Asia Wilson though, I thought those shoes were good. You know who doesn't have a shoe line is Caitlin Clark. Nike. This is a travesty that Caitlin Clark hasn't dropped her shoes yet, and I think they held off to drop her shoe line because they want to do Asia Wilson's. They want to drop Asia Wilson's shoe first, which
that's terrible on Nike's. Their whole marketing department needs to be fired immediately.
Yeah, and Asia Wilson, not a bad.
They have people that they literally pay people to research the market to see what's popping and what's not.
Yeah,
anybody with a brain can see that Caitlin Clark is popping right now.
Yeah,
I think not to drop her shoe is ridiculous and stupid.
I think they're afraid of the backlash. I think the WNBA is afraid of the backlash as well too because they don't highlight WNBA. But this is the thing. If all these fans that come out here and they hate on Caitlin Clark, how come they're not jerseys? How come like Asia Wilson's jersey is not selling out? How come Angel Reese jersey isn't selling out?
The same reason why these NBA finals are the least watched in the last 20 years, because fans want to see stars. They don't care about the purity of basketball, because if you cared about the purity of basketball, you would know who Asia Wilson is and you would watch her. Fans aren't watching the NBA Finals because it's the Pacers and the Thunder. They want to see the Knicks, the Lakers. They want to see LeBron up in there somewhere. They want to see the stars. But instead, you gotta if you're a basketball purist, you can argue that these might be the best NBA playoffs that we've seen in a long time. But if you're somebody who just wants to see the stars, then of course you're not watching. Yeah, Same thing with the WNBA. If Caitlin Clark ain't there, ninjas ain't watching.
Hey, I get your point though, but I think you're being a little generous with LeBron James because LeBron James has definitely turned the league upside down because of, for better or for worse, LeBron James has been problematic for the league as well too. So
I don't disagree with that, but that doesn't change the fact that people want to see him play. Every time he comes to Phoenix, the games sell out and the ticket price.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but because of how the NBA has catered. It's like, it's funny. So the NBA is catered to LeBron James, but the WNBA, which is, ran by the NBA, or at least there's some say so there, they don't cater to Caitlin Clark, which is so weird though. And you can make the argument that LeBron James is the face of the league for the most part, at least for right now, until for the next 2 years. But for CC is definitely the face of the league, and they're doing a huge disservice to her.
Yeah, and Overzealous just dropped another comment, and this is another Steph Curry comparison, in my opinion. CC has many WNBA records already, and she just started her second season. That's just like Steph Curry. Think about how quick he took down Reggie Miller and Ray Allen's three-point records.
Yeah.
Quick. Caitlin Clark is doing the exact same thing, so the comparison still holds up.
Yeah. All right. Last topic.
My hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out. I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that. I know that. And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood?
I hate that audience.
Tell you what, my dream is to become a millionaire victim, just like Whoopi Goldberg. The fact that she can go on television and sprout nonsense like that, free of persecution or anything else that's going to come her way, is evidence America is the freest country on earth, far different to Iran. And for her to say, yeah, I know Iran's bad, but what about black people in the United States is quite
She is a perpetual victim, isn't she? And to try and draw any sort of similarity or equivalence between Iran's human rights abuses, the fact it literally plucks women off the street and disappears them and executes them, for showing their hair is extraordinary. But she is someone who has a record of not knowing her history on the stuff and trying to minimize the suffering of other peoples and races. Take a look at what she said back in 2022 when she was speaking about the Holocaust.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
I remember that.
No, It's
Well,
not about
maybe
race.
ethnicity. Well, they consider
it's
Jews
about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about
What
race.
is it about?
Because it's about
Really
man's
big.
inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
Let's put aside the fact that someone's obviously been hitting the Ozempic pretty hard in the past few years.
Hey,
Sorry,
she
but
caught
I
that
think it's
immediately.
Shots fired. All right. Whoopi Goldberg. See, this is what the funny thing is, real quick, just to table set this. Whoopi ain't got no black husband, ain't got no black kids. She might have some black cousins or whatever the case is, though. But it's always the people that are never married to a black person or have black kids, always talking about this whole victim Olympics BS. The Jasmine Crockett. I'm trying to think of there's somebody else that I'm thinking of too, though. But a lot of these woke people, or Kamala Harris, she ain't got no. You can say stepmom, blah blah blah. You can say she's black, whatever. She ain't married to a black man. They always talk about this victimhood narrative, but they're not married to the people that they say they're caping for. So, and for her to think that there's an okay statement to say the things about black people are more oppressed than Iranians. I mean, shit. I ain't going over there. Nobody's going over there. Like, go over there, Whoopi, watch what happens.
I feel like
Overzealous is killing it.
yeah.
Wait, isn't she Jewish?
She
Whoopi?
was at one point. I don't know if she still practices or not.
Yeah.
I mean, Goldberg, that pretty much gives it away right there.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to put this in proper perspective. We talked about this in a previous episode. I was trying to track it down so people can go back and look it up. But I literally pulled the statistics on police brutalities in black people over multiple presidential administrations. And I'm here to tell you the number has never significantly changed, positive or negative. It's stayed pretty stable. And in the grand scheme of things, it's actually kind of minimal. Now, I'm not dismissing that there's issue with policing in black people, but when it comes to the getting the police brutalities and the, getting X'd out, it's not as excessive as it doesn't happen as excessively as people think it does.
As much as
they just like to push it in front of our face because they know that they can emotionally control us, right?
Or it's election season.
That too. And me personally, I haven't had an issue with, and I'm never saying I've not been profiled or anything like that, but I can tell you, I haven't had a true issue with policing probably in the last 20 years. So I'm probably the wrong person to get riled up emotionally about something like this. That being said, the View is doing what they do best. They're redirecting, and this is called the XX deflect. I talked about this before. Anytime somebody brings up a point and talks about something of significance, they redirect it back to some trauma that relates directly to them. Go find any random thread on Facebook or IG where there's positivity going on for men, and you'll see a woman that jumps on there and says, well, what about the women? They've been doing that for years. It's the exact same tactic. You're moving away from the point, and somehow you're talking about Iran and making it comparable to being black in the United States. I don't get it. I don't understand the connotation. This take was a little too wild for me.
Yeah, even when I've seen the progressives go out there and they were like, gays for Hamas or LGBT for Hamas or whatever, I'm like, y'all don't realize if
Queers for Palestine.
Yeah, if you went over there, it's going to be a problem for you. You might not even come back alive. That's how strict it is. And I never understood that. I never understood why women were like, pushing for Gaza or Hamas. I'm like, do y'all understand what'll happen if you don't dress code, you don't wear the right things? And this has probably been this is probably the United States thing, is that the culture in the United States has been so great that you believe you can go to any other country in the world and say like, hey, you're doing things wrong. How's that? We're on the brink of World War III over this stuff. And they believe they can go over there and just change people's views, just topple a regime, topple a dictatorship. Like, I don't understand it, man. I don't even understand why they even think they can, they feel they have the clout to do stuff like that. And Whoopi is just pushing that whole rhetoric, that narrative that black people continue to be oppressed. Whoopi is a millionaire. She doesn't even work with black people. She might work one or two, but they ain't at the higher up level. Whoopi doesn't even live by black people. Maybe she does have black friends or whatnot, wherever the case is, but she rarely is seen with black people, is what I'm going to say. So it's just wild to me that she has been allowed to have this take. And you saw Melissa Farrah Griffin trying to have that conversation with her, like, are you dumb? Like, do I have to spell this out to you? And Whoopi, and this is what a lot of these race hustlers, what they do is that they always go back to like what happened to Emmett Till. They go back to what in slavery. They can't even go back to like they can barely bring up the George Floyd conversation. So for a lot of these people thinking that it's that bad, go over there to Iran and see what happens. Go over to like, Mexico. We said this earlier. Like, you can't go to these countries. And shout out to Sky News. Like, they love taking jabs at Democrats. So that's why I watch them every now and then. They're hilarious when they take these jabs. But for the most part, though, again, these people, they love to cape for the communities. They like to get everyone riled up, emotionally riled up, but they don't live by black people. The people that cut their checks are not black. I don't understand why people still believe this, but she needs to be checked on it, though.
Yeah, it's funny how you hear all of these black people who don't have healthy relationships with the opposite sex that's black try to speak on black issues collectively, especially family impacting issues. I do want to do a slight shift since we're on the subject of geopolitics, though. I'm fortunate enough to know 2 Assyrians, or you can call them Iranians, whatever. One's older, one's younger. Both migrated here legally to the States. And they both have very different takes on what's happening right now. I'll tell you right now, the younger people, they want to see this administration topple. They want to see the Ayatollah get the hell out of here. They're tired of all of this stuff. A lot of them are turning their backs on Islam altogether. As a matter of fact, atheism is on the rise, and so is Christianity, but you can't publicly claim that because there's consequences with that. You talk to some of the older people that migrate here, and they're a little bit more moderate on stuff like that. They want to keep the tradition, but they have the same issues with the Ayatollah and the president as the younger people do. So there's a lot of people internally in Iran that are kind of rooting for this administration to fall. I think people should be mindful of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But going back to The View, y'all trash, bro.
Yeah.
Completely trash. Whoopi, that was a wild take.
The View is a content farm, and it's rare that Sunny had 2 opportunities to put her foot in her mouth, and Sunny she couldn't control Arnold, but she was like, oh man, Whoopi, you're going way too far. You've gone off. You have definitely, Sunny's half black too, and Sunny didn't say anything. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
She doesn't claim it, but she is half black. I mean,
Sunny only opines on emotional issues. If you start having in-depth conversations about anything else, she's as quiet as a mouse at church.
Hey, facts. So, all right, that is going to wrap up tonight's show. We had a lot of viewers show up tonight, though, so that's actually pretty positive. We've been doing this for a while, and it feels like we're still trying to get things together, and we're trying out different things. So I hope everyone comes back. Overzealous, thanks for joining us. Maria, thanks for, I'm saying that right. Is that Marie or Mary?
I say Marie.
Yeah, Marie. All right, Marie. I mean, she's probably like, I'm unsubscribed. You said my name wrong. All right. Anyways, any final thoughts, MC?
No, this was a good one. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. We're going to keep cooking. We're going to get better every single week. And we have other ideas coming down the pipeline in the future. But right now, we want to keep growing this thing out and having some healthy, masculine conversations.
All right. See you next time, everyone.
Peace.